David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me. Learn the process of mastering your mind and defying the odds. Many individuals struggle to maintain a basic fitness routine, often finding excuses to avoid going to the gym or skipping workouts. However, this podcast reveals what it would be like to live a life without making excuses and always giving 100% effort. David Goggins, the author, serves as an example of such a lifestyle. Within the podcast, you will embark on a captivating journey, exploring the remarkable life story of this extraordinary man. Starting from his difficult childhood and his struggle with weight during his 20s, we witness his incredible transformation into one of the world's fittest soldiers. By delving into his experiences with raw honesty and sharing unbelievable anecdotes, we discover how Goggins managed to turn his life around and achieve what seemed almost impossible. Moreover, the podcast offers insights on how you can replicate his success. David Goggins' early years were marred by the presence of his violent and demanding father, casting a dark shadow over his childhood. Unlike many American children who enjoy carefree moments filled with play, security, and parental love, David Goggins did not experience such joys. Born in New York in 1975, Goggins was deprived of a simple and innocent childhood. From the tender age of 6, he, along with his mother and older brother, became enslaved by his tyrannical father, Trunnis. Trunnis, a self-made businessman who owned a roller disco rink, used his own family as his workforce. Almost every evening, Goggins' father would take his wife and children to the skating rink, where they were forced to work relentlessly until midnight. Between the ages of 6 and 8, David's responsibility was to manage the skating shows. In the rink's office, his mother would cook their dinner on a hot plate, and after the children finished their work late at night, they would sleep in the same office. Unfortunately, the pounding music from the dance floor made it nearly impossible to sleep, causing Goggins to regularly doze off in school and struggle to concentrate on his lessons. Enduring the exhausting cycle of school and late-night labor would have been unbearable for any young child, but the sickening cruelty of Goggins' father made life almost intolerable. David often witnessed his father mercilessly beating his mother with a belt whenever she dared to defy him. On one occasion, when David suffered from a severe ear infection, his mother took him to the hospital, defying Trunnis' refusal to spend money on his family's well-being. Upon her return, Trunnis violently assaulted her. Whenever David tried to intervene and protect his mother, he too was subjected to beatings. He frequently concealed the bruises and painful welts inflicted by his father's belt. Thankfully, when David turned 8, he and his mother managed to escape from their tormentor. Through persuasion, David's mother convinced his father to allow her to acquire a credit card in her name. With the assistance of a sympathetic neighbor, she carefully planned their escape. Hastily leaving Trunnis' house, David and his mother drove to Brazil, Indiana, a small town where they began a new life, free from Trunnis. However, their newfound freedom came with a bittersweet feeling because David's older brother chose to remain with their father, despite his cruelty, resulting in limited contact between David and his brother after their departure. Regrettably, David's life in Indiana would not be devoid of hardship either. Although David Goggins managed to escape from his abusive father, his past suffering continued to haunt him, making the rest of his childhood far from easy. Settling in a small town in Indiana, he grappled with poverty and the lingering demons of his upbringing during his formative years. Once the initial relief of leaving Trunnis behind had subsided, David and his mother faced a harsh new reality. They were suddenly plunged into extreme poverty. Trunnis refused to provide more than a meager allowance for their support in their new life. They resided in a public housing block, paying a mere $7 per month in rent, and struggled to make ends meet with his mother's part-time job and a monthly welfare check of $123. As if poverty alone wasn't challenging enough, the traumatic experiences from David's early years began to manifest when he reached the 3rd grade. After enduring years of abuse at the hands of his father, David developed a nervous stutter, experienced hair loss, and noticed patches of discolored skin. Later in life, David realized that he had been suffering from toxic stress. This phenomenon occurs when young children who have experienced severe abuse undergo long-term changes in brain chemistry, resulting in a constant state of fight or flight. In other words, David had endured so much that his brain and body were perpetually on high alert for danger. A devastating consequence of toxic stress is its impact on children's memory. Those afflicted with this condition struggle to retain previously learned knowledge, even if they were once gifted students. In David's case, this meant that some of his teachers labeled him as unintelligent. Being the only Black student in his class, he faced daily verbal abuse and ridicule. Fearing expulsion and placement in a special needs facility, David resorted to the only solution he could think of: cheating on homework and important standardized tests. Consequently, his oblivious teachers allowed him to stay in school, but his education suffered tremendously. As he entered his teenage years, unbeknownst to others, David could barely read. Fear and disappointment became significant obstacles in preventing David Goggins from realizing his full potential during his early adulthood. During his teenage years, David continued to struggle with school and literacy. However, as he entered his late teens, he finally found a concrete purpose for his life: joining the United States Air Force. Fueled by the aspiration of becoming a military man, he committed himself to learning to read and was successfully admitted into Air Force training. Unfortunately, his journey towards success would not be smooth sailing. David's ultimate goal was to become an Air Force pararescue, a specialized soldier trained in parachuting into war zones to rescue injured pilots. However, there was a significant hurdle he had to overcome: swimming. Due to financial constraints, David's mother could not afford to provide him with swimming lessons, and it wasn't until he reached the age of 12 that he even encountered a pool. As a result, when he began his military training, he lacked the necessary swimming skills required to meet the standards. Overwhelmed by fear and confronted with increasingly difficult swimming challenges, he ultimately chose the easy way out and quit. When a routine medical examination revealed a predisposition to sickle cell anemia, a blood disorder, David used it as an excuse to medically discharge himself from the military. Deep down, he knew he should have persevered and faced his challenges head-on, but fear dominated his decision-making. By 1999, at the age of 24, David found himself stuck in a dead-end job as a night shift pest exterminator, using food as a means to numb his disappointment. Following his discharge from the Air Force, his weight skyrocketed from 255 pounds to nearly 300 pounds as he spiraled out of control with his eating habits. As soon as his pest exterminator shift ended, he would immediately stop to indulge in a chocolate milkshake and a box of donuts. This was merely his first breakfast. He would then proceed to his mother's house, where she had prepared his regular morning meal consisting of an astonishing 8 cinnamon rolls, 6 eggs, 10 bacon rashers, and copious amounts of sugary cereal. Regrettably, David resorted to food as a coping mechanism to deal with the harsh realities of his life, his lack of education, skills, and the prospect of a bleak future. Fortunately, a catalyst for change and the motivation he desperately needed were just around the corner. David Goggins embarked on a transformative journey, both physically and mentally, with the ambition of becoming a Navy SEAL. One morning, after indulging in yet another substantial breakfast, Goggins stumbled upon a television documentary that would alter the course of his life forever. The program showcased the arduous training endured by Navy SEALs, renowned as the most elite fighting force worldwide, renowned for their unparalleled mental toughness, unwavering determination to overcome suffering, and peak physical conditioning. In an instant, a profound desire to join their ranks consumed Goggins like never before. Over the next few weeks, he relentlessly contacted Navy recruitment offices across the United States, pleading for the opportunity to train as a SEAL. Fortuitously, he discovered a training program available to former military recruits seeking to rejoin the Navy. Goggins was informed that he could utilize this program as a pathway to join the SEAL training program. However, two significant hurdles stood in his way. Firstly, the training program was scheduled to be terminated in just 3 months. Secondly, Goggins faced a substantial weight obstacle, as he far exceeded the maximum weight limit of 191 pounds for Navy enlistment. Weighing 297 pounds, he had less than 3 months to shed over 100 pounds if he wanted any chance of qualifying for SEAL tryouts. Undeterred by the challenges ahead, Goggins embarked on an arduous journey. Over the ensuing 3 months, he devised a punishing fitness regimen. Rising at 4:30 a.m. each day, he immediately engaged in a 2-hour session on an exercise bike. Following that, he would drive to the nearest swimming pool and complete a 2-hour swim. Then, he would proceed to the gym for an intense workout, incorporating circuit training and at least 5 sets of 200 repetitions for all major muscle groups. After the gym session, he would return to the exercise bike for another few hours. Even after dinner, he would resume his grueling exercise routine, dedicating 2 more relentless hours to the bike. Remarkably, within a mere 2 weeks, he had shed 25 pounds, and within a month, he incorporated 4-mile runs into his daily routine. As the deadline for enrollment loomed, Goggins had transformed himself into a prime physical condition. He successfully enrolled in the program and embarked on a grueling training period, enduring 5.5 days with minimal sleep and completing demanding exercise drills while soaked in water and covered in sand. Nevertheless, Goggins persevered, gritting his teeth through the challenges, and ultimately accomplished his long-cherished dream of becoming a Navy SEAL. Goggins' remarkable accomplishments extend to the realm of ultra-running, where he has established an impressive reputation. Having achieved his lifelong goal of becoming a Navy SEAL, Goggins found himself yearning for new challenges after a few years. He sought an endeavor that would push his physical capabilities to the utmost, similar to the demanding nature of SEAL training. In 2005, he discovered his answer: the world of extreme long-distance running, known as ultra-running. Goggins initially embarked on ultra-running as a means to support a noble cause. When several of his fellow Navy SEALs tragically lost their lives during a military operation in Afghanistan, Goggins resolved to raise funds for the families left behind. This endeavor allowed him to combine charitable efforts with his personal quest to conquer the most grueling foot race on Earth. His chosen race was the renowned Badwater 135, a 135-mile endurance race known for its treacherous elevations and scorching heat, making it the most challenging race in existence. Starting below sea level in Death Valley, California, the course concludes at an elevation of 8,374 feet. Adding to the extreme conditions, Badwater 135 takes place in July, when Death Valley frequently ranks as the hottest place on the planet. Remarkably, top competitors complete the course in under 48 hours. Prior to competing in Badwater 135, race organizers required Goggins to qualify by participating in another 100-mile race. He took on the San Diego One Day, a city-based race covering a distance of 100 miles. Astoundingly, Goggins completed this initial race without any specific training. In fact, during the year leading up to the race, the only cardiovascular exercise he engaged in was a mere 20 minutes per week on a cross-trainer at the gym. Despite enduring immense hardships along the route, including the loss of bladder and bowel control due to extreme exertion, he finished the race in an impressive 19 hours, going as far as running an additional mile to ensure he had truly crossed the finish line. Following this triumph, Goggins secured a spot as a participant in the 2006 Badwater 135. This time, he dedicated himself to rigorous training in preparation for the race. He meticulously studied the terrain he would encounter and trained in extreme heat conditions to simulate the race environment. When the race day arrived, Goggins' extensive preparation paid off as he completed Badwater 135 in an impressive 30 hours, securing 5th place among the competitors. Through sheer determination and hard work, anyone has the potential to achieve success similar to David Goggins' accomplishments as a Navy SEAL and prolific ultra runner. Given his status as one of the few African-American Navy SEALs and his impressive feats in ultra running, many individuals seek advice from Goggins on how to replicate his success. His foremost piece of guidance boils down to one crucial element: work ethic. Sadly, society has developed an addiction to quick fixes, but Goggins firmly believes that true mastery of oneself and unlocking one's full potential requires relentless effort and dedication. While talent and passion may abound, they are rendered futile without a corresponding work ethic. Without it, one is akin to a bird without wings, unable to soar. Goggins' unwavering commitment to hard work serves as the cornerstone of each of his accomplishments. Whether it is intense workouts in the gym or serving as a SEAL, everything else in his life takes a back seat to the paramount importance of hard work. Interestingly, when Goggins imparts the value of hard work to others, they often retort that they lack the time to invest the long hours necessary to achieve their goals. They claim that their focus must be on family or the demands of their desk jobs. However, Goggins dismisses this excuse entirely. In his view, these skeptics simply need to win the morning. Goggins has attained remarkable achievements by embracing an early morning routine. To have a chance at similar levels of success, one must also become an early riser. A typical day for Goggins commences at 4 a.m. when he promptly embarks on a 6 to 10 mile run. By setting out early, he ensures that he can return home by 5:15 a.m., ready to shower and have breakfast. As if this weren't enough, he then cycles 25 miles to work, arriving at his desk by 7:30 a.m. And his stringent fitness regimen doesn't end there. During his lunch break, he finds time for a gym session or another 6-mile run along a nearby beach. After work, he cycles back home, and by the time he steps through his front door at 7 p.m., he has already completed a 50-mile bike ride, run at least 10 more miles, and fulfilled the demands of a 9-to-5 desk job. Therefore, seize the opportunity to rise early tomorrow morning and begin pushing yourself. If David Goggins can do it, so can you. So, final recap. David Goggins' inspiring journey showcases his triumph over a violent, traumatic, and impoverished childhood as he harbored dreams of joining the military. Despite facing obstacles in swimming and undergoing a tremendous weight loss journey, he ultimately emerged as an exceptionally fit Navy SEAL and a highly accomplished ultramarathon runner. It is indeed possible to follow in his footsteps, but it requires an extraordinary level of hard work and a commitment to early mornings. Here's an actionable advice. To surpass limitations, embrace the 40% rule. Goggins introduced the 40% rule based on the observation that we often quit and return home when we have only exerted 40% of our potential effort. This occurs because a protective part of our mind deceives us into believing that we have given our all, shielding us from suffering and adversity. However, the reality is that we still possess 60% of untapped potential. To master our minds, we must push through the discomfort, disregard the inner voice, and consistently strive to give our genuine best, unleashing our full capabilities every time. Thanks for watching the Culminate podcast. We cover self-help, nonfiction, fiction, personal finance, stock market, and artificial intelligence books. Like, comment, and share to support us. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more engaging book summaries. Join us on this literary journey at the Culminate podcast. Keep watching, keep exploring, keep evolving.